While traveling the world has been a joy to me, I've been to 45 countries and I've lived in 4 continents. There have been some struggles and challenges traveling while Black. In today's video, I'm going to share my experience, what it's like traveling as a Black woman. In the comments, I want this to be a space where we are uplifting and supporting one another. Don't y'all be out of pocket in those comments, okay? I'm going to start out with some microaggressions. One is going to be that I'm assumed that I work at an establishment. When people come up to me and they're asking, well, where is this? Or can you tell me how to, and I just have a look. I'm working on hiding my facial expression. I don't even get why it would be a store because I'm not in uniform. Because I'm looking at them like, what? I'm here exploring just like you are. But being assumed that I am a worker, that's annoying. Also, when I am asked about what I do for work, when people question my finances as if I'm not supposed to be in the spaces that they are in, I told you I flew first class that one time to Nairobi from Dallas, and I was in seat 1A, shout out to Qatar, giving me that amazing experience, and I could just feel the stares of passengers walking by like, oh, who does she think she is? You know, I was enjoying my mint drink and I just kept it moving because I'm like, I don't care what they think. We all are going on this flight to Nairobi and I'm in the front. It's my birthday. Treat yourself, right? The next one, unsolicited touch, especially of my hair. I can't stand that, y'all. In Asia, this happens a lot. They just reach out. They'll touch your hair, pull braids, ask you all of these questions. If I decide to indulge and answer them, they're like, what? What do you mean you don't wash your hair every day? In their mind, they think Black people are dirty because of that. And I'm like, no, it's actually good. You know, I'm retaining the natural oils, da 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 da. Other times I will just put on sunglasses because I'm like, I don't feel like being the representative of Black people today. Some people suggest that you dress up because you are going to be treated like a celebrity no matter where you go. In Asia, definitely China. Whew. The microaggressions there were wild. And the people, they're just so innocent. Some of them, they honestly did not know. That's what I like to believe. Others, y'all doing way too much. Also in China, the photos. I can say that happened in Thailand, not too much in Japan. I guess they just are not used to seeing Black people in person and they have the phones out. If you're going there, get ready to be treated like a star. They're taking photos of you, they're taking videos. Sometimes they want to have you in the picture with them. And I always wonder where they're sending these messages, probably just to their friends on WeChat, Redbook. Because they're like, I have a friend with a Black person. And in reality, no, you don't. You just asked for my picture. I don't know you. Now, I will say for Asia, there are some who go out of pocket touching my hair, my skin, but the majority of them are just curious and they just want to learn about you. I just think they need to do it in a respectful way where they are not touching my hair or my skin. These microaggressions can be frustrating. I deal with it, you know, the best that I can. I guess I am representing Black America while I am overseas, and I'm sharing with you guys on the channel. And sometimes you don't want to react the way you normally would back home because you don't know how they're going to respond, and it could just get very awkward. Sometimes I just want to disappear, but here's some ways how to handle it. If someone, and you can see them out at the corner of your eye, starts reaching to your hair, kindly tap them and say, oh no, you're not going to be doing that. Honestly, you don't owe anyone access to your personal space. I don't really like people in my bubble. So when they first come too close, I'm already moving back. And if they're reaching towards me, I'm like, nah, this ain't going to be what it is. And they can kind of get that vibe even if I'm not speaking in Mandarin, okay? Do you know that Spirit Airlines is now issuing, I don't know if they've issued it yet, a dress code for passengers. I do not know if this was brought up because of Black people. I think it could be. There already is a stereotype of us while we are traveling. Let me look up what it says. Passengers will not be allowed to board if they are barefoot or inadequately clothed, which includes see-through clothing, exposing your butt, your boobs, or other private parts. What do y'all think of this new passenger dress code? I'm all about being comfortable and casual while I am traveling. It does take away some of the anxiety as a Black woman in general, I am going to expect some issues when I'm at the airport. One is going to be at TSA. And now I'm thinking I do need to get that TSA pre-check and global entry. But the thing is, I still think Black women have a higher rate of being searched. Okay, we are singled out for pat downs because of our hair. It has happened to me so many times. How I deal with it now, I've put my things on the belt, it's gone through, and they have you raise your arms up. If something goes off, I'm like, oh, here we go again. But you kind of have to visualize yourself having a positive experience, going through it quickly. If they say they have to pat me down, especially my hair, I quickly say to the TSA agent, can you change gloves? And I look them dead in their eye and I wait until they do it, because I do not want them touching me with gloves that have previously been used on other people. For those who are saying, well, they do random searches. I cannot count how many times I've been searched, not only in the US, it's happened to me many times in Europe. I think of it as unnecessary pat downs, but hey, they have to meet their quota of the day. And why not get this random Black person? The government sites aren't reliable for Black travelers. When I was looking to visit Africa, even Haiti, those countries are going to be level 3 and 4, which is pretty much advising you not to travel there. I would like to know, somebody go on Travel State Gov and tell me how many Black countries are at a level 1. Zero caution. It could be less than a handful, because in their eyes, in the government's eyes, they don't want you traveling to these Black countries because they are deemed as unsafe. Let's talk about food. Food is very important to me while traveling. Sometimes the restaurants that I go to, the service might not be as great, especially in the US. There are some establishments that believe that Black people don't tip well. So in return, they don't give you the best service. Sometimes I will ask for a table. They'll put me way in the back. They'll put me by the kitchen. There are just certain parts in the restaurant where I feel like my dining experience could have been better. And I do wonder if it's because of the color of my skin. Other times I'll be waiting. It'll take them forever just to sit me down. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. I'm just like, I've accepted it at this point. This is what it is. If the wait is too long, I'll just go somewhere else. And let me backtrack to when it comes to research. As a Black person, as a minority, usually when you are looking up itineraries, things to do, places to stay, restaurants, it's not going to be for minorities in mind. That is why on TikTok and YouTube, a lot of my content is coming up, because people want to see things to do in Jamaica for Black people, right? I'm amazed that you guys are coming to my channel because you found me on search. Even in my previous video, just talking about Black hair, people were looking up crochet braids, and then they said, oh, here is a Black woman talking about travel. So again, thank y'all for coming to the channel. If you're enjoying this type of content, go ahead and subscribe. I have lots of playlists on Black-friendly destinations. When you are doing your research, you can put Black person in YouTube and on TikTok. It is going to filter it out for you, because there are specific reviews that we as travelers are going to want to look out for, when it comes to racism, these microaggressions, misogynoir. The Green Book is made for Black travelers. It is the first review site for Black travelers. You can use the Green Book app as a resource to look at destinations around the world. And if there is a specific place that you have questions about that are not on my channel, y'all come here first. Then you can go to Google. But again, you are going to have to be mindful of the person reviewing, if they are Black or not. I mentioned misogynoir. This is the hatred, the stereotyping of Black women. It's taken me some time to talk about this because it's a serious topic and I do get uncomfortable mentioning it, but I was sexually harassed when I was in Italy. I know there's a lot of videos about racism in Italy, but this was not in Italian, you guys. I was in Fiumicino. I was about to transfer to Amman. I was flying from Rome to Amman, and I had spent some time in the lounge. I had removed some of my layers of clothing because I just was hot. I was kind of jet lagged from New York and I was just tired. I wanted to rest. So all I had on was a tank top. In these places, even in the airport, you are going to be, fetishized? What's the word? Sexualized by men. I am definitely sure he was Arab. He came up and was asking me some questions and I was like, oh, I'm just trying to be nice, talk to him, whatever. And y'all, he reached out and actually touched my breast. And I was like, what the hell? What are you doing? But in that moment, I have to think, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the police? First of all, I need to get to my flight. I don't want to miss this flight. And then what happens if I go to the Italian police in the airport? It might not go your way. This is what traveling as a Black woman, you have to think quick on your feet. So I kind of was out of equilibrium for a minute, but I said, you know what? The main goal is for me to get to Jordan. This is a one-time trip. I don't know when I'm going to get back. I need to get on this flight. I had all of my things and was still sitting in the lounge. I picked it up to the lounge and I just went to the gate and I just tried to decompress. If something like this has happened to you, I would say just go to the police. If you have time to report it, because no one has the right to be touching you in any way. It doesn't matter how you're dressed. Because I've read that they'll be like, oh, if you're traveling alone, solo as a woman, this is what you signed up for. No, it's not. I was in the airport. And for this specific situation, I'm not singling out the Italians because they were very nice to me. I didn't have any problems with the Italians in Fiumicino Airport. Let me make that clear. But because of that happening, I kind of just looked at Rome as just like, I don't really like Rome. Also, men across the globe assume that Black women are available, that we are prostitutes. So you have to be very careful. They are attracted to our bodies, our shapes in particular. The Caribbean, Jamaica, the men are very aggressive there. Mexico, just men were being very bothersome. I told y'all about that time I was being followed in Cancun by a man. I had to go stand right next to the security guard so he would just leave me alone. So that was not a great time either. And of course, but in the Middle East, a lot of women are working as sex workers there. And it's just a known thing. So they just assume that you are there as well. They don't assume that you're there for tourism. Being followed, persistently harassed, it can be overwhelming and it really can ruin your trip. Here are some tips if something like that happens to you. Like I said, you want to immediately report it. Sometimes you're just going to have to trust your instinct and walk away, maybe ignore it, because you don't want to bring more attention to yourself. And honestly, you don't know if the authorities of security are going to play the situation in your way. Especially, in the Middle East, it's always going to go to the man. Like, you as the woman, what did you do wrong? Other times you can use strategic disengagement and just walk away. Like, I don't want no problems. You're out of pocket. You can go stand in a policed area. You can stand next to the security guard and just wait there until you feel comfortable. Also, always make sure that you are sharing your location with someone. It could be someone that you know. If it's overseas, I tend not to do it with friends and family because of the time difference. And if they're just not on social media a lot, like I like having my audiences on TikTok, Instagram, because some of y'all are chronic social media users. So I can just send, like a back call out and y'all just be like, okay, da, 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 da. Also, I do like to have the front desk available with the hostels. If you're in a hotel, just someone in your corner if something were to occur. And you always want to have an exit strategy. Next, let's talk about colorism. There have been instances where I'm just talking to people, I'm trying to be friendly, and they'll say something along the lines of, oh, well, you're not that Black. And it just throws me off. And I'm like, what? What did you say? What do you mean I'm not that Black? What does that mean? But if I look at them too weird, like, I know you just didn't say that, then they get embarrassed, their face gets flustered, they get red. It's just an awkward situation. But I'm like, y'all the ones that were talking to me out of pocket. Like, who says that? On the flip side, I've had people will be like, oh, you talk so well, like your English is so fluent. What were you expecting? I guess there's a stereotype that Black people speak a certain way. Like, I know how to switch the code, but this is how I speak. I was homeschooled. I went through Christian education. I went to private schools, and it could be said that I'm a nerd or a geek being told, oh, you talk white. This isn't necessarily from the Caucasians. This is from my own people. That's another video. Just being questioned about my Blackness is very odd to me. Well, first of all, I'm Black. I'm Blackity Black. For those of you who feel like you're being excluded from your own identity, I want to say to you that you are enough. No one gets to tell you how Black you are. You know what I mean? In these cases, you need to connect with other Black travelers who understand and who are going to support you. I really appreciate the Black travel Reddit groups. Obviously, my channel, you guys coming here and we just sharing our experiences. That is very therapeutic. The Black expat groups, okay? The Black girls solo travel group. I'm a top contributor there. At first, I was promoting my videos, but I just saw a lot of the struggles and challenges that the women were going through. And I'm just like, y'all gonna be all right. Continue seeing the world. Yes, these things do happen to us, but we owe it to our ancestors, okay? They were not able to travel and have the American privilege that we do now. No matter what others say, you belong in the space like everyone else. What did I say? You belong in every space that you enter. I think of the walking tours. I do a lot of those because they're free in Europe. Sometimes I am the only American. I am the only Black person, and I am the only Black woman. I should do a video, Black faces and white spaces. It can be a lot. I'm going to tell y'all, I always position myself in the front because I'm like, y'all going to see I am hopefully changing travel for the better. And honestly, I'm not that fearful. It's very easy. A lot of times these tour guides are going to say, oh, let's take a picture. And I just keep making my way from the front. I usually stand to the side, or I'll stand in the front during the whole tour because I like to get, the photos and footage for y'all, the B-roll. And then when it's picture time, oh no, y'all not going to have me in the corner behind these people. I'm going to be dead center, either to the side, but I'm going to be in that front row. In this section, I just want to talk about systemic racism. It's just upright, blatant racism. I am going to say that the most racism I have experienced has been in my own country, the good old USA. That can be whether it's transport, riding on the metro or the train. There are those who do not want to be in the space of a Black person. So they will either sit on the edge of their chair, they will stand up so they don't have to be near you. Sometimes when you're walking and it's in a crowded city, you're going to accidentally bump elbows. I've seen people wipe it off after they bumped into me or I bumped into them, as if my Blackness is going to rub off of them. Like, it's a very uncomfortable situation. And I just kind of look at them like, I don't want your germs on me either. You know how you're in a hallway and you're walking and they're walking towards you? They will keep walking and expect you to move around them. But honey, I don't play those games. I will walk dead right in front of their face. No, you can go around because they're just used to getting their way. I don't know if I'm going to upload this because it's kind of like, but it's happened to me. Sometimes I will move out of the way. Others, I'm like, no, not today. Not during Black History Month. Being ignored in line. I have seen this happen overseas where I'm in line, I'm about to get on the train and I'm standing and people, they just come and stand in front of me. It's not that I don't understand the train culture for that country because I observe a lot of things and I move accordingly, but they just move like I'm invisible, like I'm not even there. And I think that is wild. Sometimes I will get my space back because what are you doing? How do you not even see me here? And then if you say something or call them out, you're the aggressive one. You're the angry Black woman. You're the bitch, right? If you're quiet, you just have to internalize it. But then if you express your feelings, you're going to be viewed as a stereotype either way. It's just difficult, y'all. When it's time to sit down, they don't want to sit near you. I remember in Korea, I had not a whole seat, but you can look at how much space there was there. For me, it's fine because I do like to be in my own space. I really don't like when people are like right next to me because I just feel like they're unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen, especially if I'm recording. It does feel like no matter where you go that racism is going to occur. I remember in Costa Rica, I was in San Jose at the mall, just in Zara. Security followed me all around. A lot of you as Black people know the security thinks that we steal or that we're going to cause some type of havoc. Who wants to be shopping, having somebody breathing down your neck? So what did I do in that situation? I recorded them. Here's a video of it here. Because I wanted to count and see like how long is she going to be on my back. It looked like she was just walking around counting how many people were in the store, but y'all, she was on my toes. I didn't even buy anything, and Zara is my favorite store, so you know I was hot for me not to get anything from there. In these types of situations, it's up to you whether you want to put them on the spot, and you can speak to them. Obviously, this was in Costa Rica. They do speak English and Spanish, and you can say, is there a problem? Do you need something? Can I help you with anything? I'm going to have a little bit of sarcasm and then they might get a little flustered and walk off. Or just follow your instinct and leave. And maybe they don't deserve your black dollar. I mean, you can take your money elsewhere. Like, why travel to these places, these spaces where you're not welcome? Oh, Brazil. Let me tell you what happened in Brazil. Yikes. I was in Sao Paulo, which is known to be questionably racist. I was trying to check in at the hotel. I was there a little bit early, and they flat out told me no. I kind of just hung around at the entrance, and I saw some fairer skin. They were just Brazilians, I believe. They came in and they were checked in. So I called out the lady at the front desk. I was like, oh, why were they able to check in early, but I wasn't? This is the thing. If you call them out, usually there's going to be some type of action. They tend to not want any trouble with the Americans. And this was my birthday trip. So later they gave me a birthday note. They apologized. But I'm like, why did you do that, you know what I'm saying, in the first place? Like, I don't appreciate that type of treatment. You might be saying, well, dang, Janelle, all that going on, why travel at all? We put up with so much as Black travelers, as Black women. But I want to encourage you. Travel is ours too. The joy, the beauty of experiencing the cultures, the food, some of the people. It is a thrill to me. I know I am at 45 countries and one day hoping to reach 100 and then the whole world. There are so many opportunities, me being on YouTube, you guys, we are building this community and we are talking about these issues. And we deserve it. Experiencing new places and just the joy of discovering the world on our own terms. To all of my fellow Black women, keep going, keep traveling. Keep showing up and keep taking up space because you know what? We belong in these places, in these spaces. We deserve to see the world. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave me a comment below. And if you're a Black woman, share some of your experiences, what it's been like for you while traveling. If you're interested in more of my travel experiences, go ahead and click on this video here. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you soon.